every daily discipline email that I write for the last 2.5 years, almost 3 years, it's ended with the same phrase: do the work. And I end my emails with that phrase because I think people in history, human beings, they've always looked for a way. I think this is just built into our brains, into our hearts, that we're wired to want and look for a way to get something for less, to be able to read a book and have that book transfer the skill to us, or to know something or hear something and believe that we now understand it with depth, or to practice something once and then be able to go out and perform it in a real environment, in a real arena where there's stakes and pressure. And one of my concerns when I was writing the email, starting out, the first 1, 2, 3, 4 emails that I wrote for the first month, each day that I was writing, was that people would confuse reading with learning, understanding, and more importantly, confuse it with actually getting better and practicing, getting enough reps and making enough corrections and reaching enough fail points to actually improve on the topics that I was writing about. And so I decided back in January of 2018 that whatever I was going to write, I was always going to end it with the same way. And that is do the work. Because after the email has been read, after the book has been read, or the podcast has been listened to, or an agreement has been reached, there's just work left. And I want anybody who reads any email that I write, who subscribes to my newsletter, anybody who watches this video, or anything that I put out, to understand that the watching and the consuming is very different than the work of creating in your life. And so doing the work is always the foundational piece. And in fact, the better you are at doing the work, the less information you actually need. Because by far the best teacher is actually going out and doing it. Because there's no confusion in that spot. The lessons are right in front of you. And in some ways, some of those lessons might take a little longer, but they'll grow deeper in a more real part of you. But in other ways, those lessons actually come a lot faster because the real world deals with you as it will. And it will not protect you, it won't save you, it won't lie to you. If you're not good enough, it will spit you out. If you are incapable, you will find out quickly. And so in that way, the lessons show up really fast and there's no hiding in the real world. But as long as you're consuming and reading and you're not, as long as you're reading about deadlifts and you're reading about push-ups and you're reading about pull-ups, you can try to, think about technique and plans and strategies and, workout regimens and all that stuff forever. But no amount of knowledge or understanding of a push-up will ever do one single push-up for you. It'll definitely never deadlift for you. That's work that you actually have to go out and do. So to me, my role is the first 5 or 10%. That the 95%, the 90% is 100% on you to go out and do the work. And that's what it's always been about in the Daily Discipline email newsletter. That's what it's been about in every video that I've ever published. That's what it's been about in every keynote that I've ever delivered, every workshop I've ever taught and trained. And that's what it's going to be about for the rest of forever. Because doing the work has been necessary since the dawn of time, and doing the work will be necessary until the absolute end of time, whenever that is. So for our moments here, for our time here, we have no choice but to do the work, to go out and earn the things that we think we deserve. Because the worthy are actually going to go out and do it and get it done. And everybody else is just going to complain that they don't have what they didn't do the work to get.
Yeah. Show me some. Show me. Show me some. Show me. Show me some. Show me. Show me some. Hey, show me some. Show me. Show me some. Show me. Show me some. Show me. Show me some. Hey.
Look, there's no doubt that the work is uncomfortable, okay? There's no doubt that picking this ball up and slamming it, hanging from these rings, and lifting my leg up while my stomach is cramping and my legs feel heavy, my hips are sore, my hamstrings are tight from doing squats yesterday, there's no doubt that that work is uncomfortable. There's no doubt that feeling that breath, that tightness in my chest, or the blood pumping here, the heart pounding, there's no doubt that there's more comfortable things to do. There's no doubt. But the question is whether or not you want to pursue comfort, and whether or not that comfortable voice, or the couch, or the Netflix, or whatever it is that calls. The question is whether that's the most important thing in life. Right? The question, and it's not limited to working out for me. And I don't think it is for anybody. I don't think it is for you. Because there's no doubt that avoiding that conversation that is going to be difficult and emotional is an easier path, a more comfortable path than starting a conversation that you know is going to take days, maybe weeks, maybe months to actually really have, and it's going to get really uncomfortable. There's no doubt that it's more comfortable to stay living in the city where you live rather than go take that new opportunity at the new job that would cause you to move states and cities and go far away from the network and the nest that you've built of friends and family. But there's that opportunity that's calling you that would cause you to move away. There's no doubt. But just like in here, the couch is more comfortable than the weight room, and avoiding the conversation is more comfortable than having it, and staying in the environment that you know is more comfortable than leaving it to chase something that you might want. But the question is whether or not it's comfortable forever. And it's not really a question. It's not comfortable forever. This right here is uncomfortable right now, but this right here, doing this work, creates something more valuable than just pure comfort later on. It provides security. It provides strength. It provides the capacity to endure things that are difficult and challenging. It provides health on a more longer term basis. And so for me, this is, in all of its discomfort, in all of the sweat and the strain and the mental side where you don't want to go engage in it, and that emotional avoidance that we have, just like in conversations, just like chasing down opportunities, this is the embracing of a temporary discomfort for something that medium and longer term carries a lot more value.